Hello everyone, this is Persephone and today we are continuing the 30 fetish video challenge and I'm going to talk to you about a very special fetish, macrophilia, or to put it in simple terms, fetish with giants. And of course, like every time, I'm going to tell you how you can use this fetish to make money if you are part of Findom or the BDSM world in general. Now, this is a fetish that it's very interesting because unlike other fetishes like food fetish that everyone has heard something or seen something pretty much to an extent, whenever I mention macrophilia, I get either people shocked and jiggling or not believing me, or people who know everything about it. It's not a fetish that most people know of, and usually they're very curious. So, as the term tells us, the fetish implies that the men, I'm going to use men and women because I'm a woman, but it could always be reversed, okay? So the pronouns, you can replace them. The men who have it are sexually aroused or have fantasies about being in some kind of sexual or less sexual interaction with a giant or giantess, like a giant woman. But usually from my experience, this fetish is very common among gay men, so I'm going to use the term giant for the video. For the heterosexual men, some of them may attempt to recreate the fetish in real life by dating extraordinarily tall women who are known as Amazons. But in our case, since most of the interactions take part online, we're going to focus on the online aspect of it. So people are going to ask, okay, what do those men fantasize? The fetish can take many different forms, and that's one of the fascinating things about fetishes, in my opinion, that you can observe them taking different forms from person to person. But usually there are patterns in the fantasies, like the slave or the person who has the fetish may imagine that they are tiny and they're being swallowed by the giant. They are drowning on the giant's bodily fluids, they are crushed by the giant, they are abused by the giant to perform tasks if they are the work slave type, and so on. And it can involve sexual acts like the person masturbating to a part of the giant's body or their penis, or it depends. In some cases it overlaps with food fetish, and you can see the fetishist saying that I imagine smelling the giant's feet or being crushed under their feet or worshipping their feet. So if you are new to the foot fetish, you can watch my foot fetish video first. It's going to give you a better understanding. So what happens is that people usually engage in this form of fantasy or role play, and there are cases where they are fascinated by the idea of a giant crushing a town, or it could pretty much be not sexual at all. And according to psychology, because it's always interesting to know where those things come from, people who have a giant fetish usually had some kind of very controlling or sadistic mother, and they were dominated in early life. So this again gets into the subconscious mind and comes off in this form, and because it involves a lot of fantasy and less actual sex, it could be more of a form of escapism reality and dissociating from reality rather than an actual fetish. If you're new to my channel, I'm always saying that we don't shame people for their fetishes, and fetishes, they just are like feelings. Showing that you had some need or some abuse happening to you as a child doesn't mean you are a bad person, and the whole point is to explore that safely. So that's why you can see communities growing on the internet, which in my opinion is a better thing compared to people being isolated in different parts of the world and having this fetish and not being able to express it. Now, for those of you that you watch me because you are into Findom and you're mistresses or masters, you're going to be saying, Persephone, I subscribed for you to tell me ways to make money and you're giving me crap today. It's not crap at all. The giant fetish is one of the best ways to not just get money, get residual income, which in my opinion is the best and most sustainable way to provide for yourself. Of course, it's a given that you're not going to be a giant, but what you can do is you can create videos narrating and being the giant yourself and post them on any video selling site that is meant for adult content that you're actually using and get monies out of them. And by money, I mean a lot, because there are two good things about the macrophilia community. First of all, not many people are into it, so by using the scarcity effect, your videos are going to be popular and there are people who are going to check them. And second, the macrophiles tend to be loyal. I'm going to make a different video about types of bad slaves and fickle slaves, and from what I've seen and talked with other people in the scene, macrophiles are one of the best type of slaves in terms that they return to you over and over. And because of that, you can just make the video, put it on your site, go to sleep, and you can wake up and see $30, $60, $90 in your bank account without you doing actually nothing after that first original filming. And let me show you something. What you usually do in those videos is that you use a tiny figurine to create the effect of you being gigantic and this being your slave. I can bring it very, very closer to the camera. You can get those from any type of toy store or boarding game that you want, or just order them online and they're going to be your companion in the giant video. If you want to make it even more professional, you can buy an entire miniature town and crush it. Personally, because I'm very sadistic, I like crushing things, so I would do that. And one of the elements that you need to remember is that the more sadistic and dominant you are, the more you will feel that the fetish suits you, because usually the giant's character is a sadistic person or a troll or someone who likes destroying, upsetting, devouring. And you're going to have a lot of fun and you can make some very, very serious money, especially long term. I mean, with most things like that, it doesn't pay off right away into translating into big money, but if you have 20 or 30 fetish videos, there are chances that you could be making hundreds and thousands just by selling them over and over. So that's all for today. I plan to continue the fetish video challenge, and if you have suggestions of fetishes you like to see featured, don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section. And I want to ask you to please continue subscribing, because YouTube has literally destroyed us with the whole 1000 subscriber thing. So I need to reach that number as fast as possible to start getting monetized. On terms of watching hours, I'm doing really well, but we're still lacking in the subscriber area. Thank you very much for watching.